Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for Monday, November 11th, 2024. I hope everybody's doing well. Slightly different angle today. I think I'm actually finally getting the hang of using this smaller contraption to hold my camera. Okay. If you like these readings, please like, comment, subscribe, the usual. I'm happy to have everyone here, and I hope everyone had a good weekend. I know it's been an intense week in the US. And if you're feeling it, um, we're all here with you. It's the best way I can say it. Let's all remember that we're together in all of this, even if it seems like we're separate. And maybe that's just my opinion, but I feel like we're all kind of going through this experience together, no matter which vantage point we're looking at it from. But let's see what we have on the slate for today. I'm using Wandering Moon today in an effort to, change it up a little bit. Ooh, first we have the Devil. You can see that. I love this card. I love this deck in general, but the thing about the Devil that I've been noticing recently is that even though it's traditionally seen as a card of indulgence and, backsliding in a way, I think it can be taken in an additional way, in that it's also a card of the human aspects of life, the more physical, grounded aspects of life that we have to deal with day in and day out. Eating, caring for ourselves physically, going to work, getting dressed, self-care in general, all of those things, all the things that we could normally go either way with, meaning it could be balanced or it could be out of balance. The thing with the Devil is that it brings awareness to the places in our physical experience that need attention. The full moon. Okay, so there's definitely something coming into play. I love this card too, the full moon. There's something coming into play here that is very much about an answer or a key opening. Opening the door to some aspect of our physical experience that we may have been previously confused about, or maybe there's information coming to light that's specifically about our physical existence. Collectively, I could see this as some structure that we relied on to take care of ourselves may come into question, but the answer is available. So whatever the resolution is needed is there and possible. The Queen of Moons. Okay, so I believe the moons here are cups, yeah. So the Queen of Cups there. There's intuition involved. All right, so the story right off the bat for me is coming through as questions about our physical needs being resolved because of our intuition. The Magician. All right, I love the Magician because the Magician brings us this sort of creative control or creative input over the scenario. I also love the Magician because of all of the elements being present. Pentacles, swords, cups, and wands are all present in this card. I mean, you can see it if I show you the image close up. Okay, you see on the hands, meaning you're working with all resources. You're working with a full plate here. So the only piece that seems to be important, the only piece that seems to be needing to be engaged is the intuitive part of the Queen of Cups, as far as I can see it. Five of Swords, battle, and then the Two of Wands. Interesting. So, way to start the week. I feel like this reading is saying that a question of security or worth is coming up about our physical circumstances, and that the key to figuring this out is using our intuition, seeing past any of the seeming surface material that might be inflammatory or triggering. Because the Magician shows me that the way out of the Five of Swords, the way out of that fight is with a little courage and a big awareness about where your resources lie and what you have available to you in terms of what you can personally create. So there's definitely something here about empowerment, but empowerment through the experience of a difficult physical scenario where you have to figure out or navigate with your gut instead of with your mind, because the Five of Swords is the only mental influence here, and it's contentious. So this is about understanding where your power lies. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The one thing about the Knight of Swords in this deck specifically is the feather for me, the feather in the image, because it reminds me of something very specific, and maybe this is just personal. I'm not sure if this was intended by the deck's creator, but the feather to me reminds me of a book that uh, my mother gave me to read, that she was also a big fan of, where the main character manifests the blue feather. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But um, this card for me, whenever I pull it out in a reading, it seems to remind me of that. And because of that ace, that new idea, that new focus, the manifestation changes. So don't be surprised if you're able to see or get in direct contact with the way in which your particular magician and Knight of Swords, your particular mental space seems to affect your physical world. The battle isn't actually between you and others, it's between you and your perception. If you unify those two things and you show up with a little courage and a little authenticity, meaning actually participating from a level of truth within yourself, it's going to be much easier to know what to go towards with that Knight of Swords energy, that movement. The moon, I'm telling you, it might seem, and then the Page of Swords, it might seem murky, but it's not as murky as it seems. There's lots of need for intuition here and need to see the difference between what's actually happening and what looks to be happening. That Devil energy is interesting, especially put up against the Queen of Cups, Queen of Moons in this deck. So this Queen of Cups is asking you to settle in your intuitive space, to move forward from there. The Queen of Cups and the Magician together tell me if you settle in your intuitive space and you work with the resources you have available to you, you'll make your way through pretty clearly. I like the Page of Swords too, because that's messages. Oh, so many swords. Ace of Swords. And then the Two of Cups. Okay. On a collective level, I see this as getting through a divisive moment. This is actually a really positive thing for me to see today. I was just talking about US politics with someone this morning, and I think what's interesting about this, especially considering what I said before I started pulling the cards, is that there's something occurring to me as we go through this process that I seem to be becoming aware of, which is that people, in my experience, whenever push comes to shove, really, whenever we really need each other, we show up for each other regardless. I've never experienced a crisis moment where people of all walks of life, of all belief systems, of all political backgrounds and belief systems, all of that, haven't come together under emergency circumstances to take care of each other. And I feel like we're coming to another one of those moments, although it may not necessarily be an extreme one. But that Two of Moons, that Two of Cups energy, that's definitely ringing true to me as the truth of the love coming through the divisiveness as we start to heal the division. This could also manifest and show up in personal relationships. So don't be surprised if that happens for you personally, because as someone I used to work for used to say, the personal is political. And that I think goes both ways. We are seeing a reflection of ourselves on some level in the way our world works. And until we can process that and move through that on an individual basis, we will have difficulty coming together collectively. But I see hope in that. I see us able to, build certain bridges, if not all of them. Obviously there are certain things that are unforgivable, and I do understand that. So I'm not trying to say to, build bridges with people who would, vote for your disempowerment or anything like that. But I am saying that there is an overarching theme here of figuring out how to pull together from the truth as opposed to allow manipulation to divide us. And I see this very interesting theme, and it's coming up on a very personal level. So this will happen probably for many of us in our personal relationships. And we may experience it as navigating disagreements, navigating what it's like to love people that feel very differently about the world than we do. And I mean, I'm almost sounding idealistic, and I understand that too, but this story is very particular for me. These cards read very particularly, and it's that our creation, the magician, our perspectives, and the way we interpret the world around us is more important than what we're being told to believe by anyone in our lives, or what we think we should believe based on our upbringing or our social conditioning or any of those things. We have a choice to, find our personal authenticity and move forward. And it shows me through these cards, especially because the Queen of Cups there and the Two of Wands, that if we choose to be courageously authentic, what we might find is that new beginning, that new idea that leads right into the bridge being built between us and another with that Two of Cups, or us and a group, or us and a work situation. This could show up very personally, because on the world stage, I think we're going to need some more time to work that out. We still haven't yet learned the lesson on how to see each other as, ultimately all the same, or all important, or all included, or, insert your preferred word there. I do think that we are all part of this, each in our difference of experience, but still included. Seven of Cups, yeah. Okay, so that's usually the card of confusion and false options. So that Ace of Swords and that Two of Cups is breaking through a confusion. That confusion seems to echo the devil there for me too. So some poignant aspect of truth is on its way to us. Individually, personally, collectively, whatever. That may very well push us to the point of understanding a deeper layer of our investment, of what's worth fighting for, of our ideas, our belief systems, things like that. Seems like today may prove to help us further toward a breakthrough. Most likely this will happen personally, more so than collectively at the moment. Like I said, I think we're working on something still. Collectively, we're working on how to show up and be present through some serious stress. There are a lot of people who are seriously stressed about what we're experiencing, especially in the US. And I think that that's fair. And at the same time, we're still here, and this is home for many of us. And we have to remember the truth, the baseline truth of what it means to be alive on the planet with other people. Try and find the bridges if we can, and if we can't, to draw our boundaries. So that's just my opinion, and that's how this story reads to me. But I hope everyone has a good day, and I will try and be back tomorrow with more. All right. See you soon. Bye.